Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and today is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day.
I just realized that on my phone, like I was going to send out a Father's Day, Happy Father's Day to my dad. And I thought, well, I've also got my stepdad. I've also got Pa, Bignell,
Mm-hmm.
um, Sammy in heaven. Happy Father's Day. But yeah, like then I thought, okay, my brother, my stepbrother, Father's Day. Okay. Our son, happy
Mm-hmm.
Father. I was like, wow, I got a lot of Father's Day things to celebrate. Which is cool, but also it's like almost everybody I know is a dad.
Yeah, a lot of people you know as dads.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
people I know as dads.
it is interesting though, because, um, growing up, I guess, my generation would be the one after the baby boomers, where, divorce rate went up really high and suddenly, we got single moms doing a lot and stepdads and that sort of thing. And that really
And yeah,
wasn't heard
right.
of before. It just really wasn't heard of before that era. So growing up, I mean, I made friends with a lot of people who didn't have dads at home or had stepdads at home. And it's interesting now to see how, I don't know, in a way, it's sort of like we're healing. We're changing as a generation to go, no, I'm going to have a family with one dad and I'm going to make this work. And there's a transition that I'm seeing now with a lot of people that I am friends with and that I work with that are like, no, this is the person that I'm going to be with. I made a smart choice, and this is the person I'm going to be with. I say that being a person who has had a divorce myself, and you as well, but also I don't know. I guess my character flaw of being an optimist has sort of taken over my frame of thought with that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly. I think this day and time, I see more in my generation. My parents divorced when I was very young, and there was more one sided parenting going on.
Right.
Where now it seems like there's more of a co-parenting. There's a better this generation now is doing a better job of co-parenting through a possible divorce, or two people who has had a child and has decided not to be together. uh,
Do you think that's because of what they went through as a kid, or do you think that's possibly because of the um, social media influence?
I'm not sure. Like I say, I'm not sure. I personally have noticed that, you better co-parenting going on, and I'm not really sure what I, to what we could hold that accredited to.
I mean, I've always thought about the fact that, like, oftentimes if you go through something as a kid, your response growing up as an adult is either to repeat the thing or to change the thing. Like, that's,
Right,
you always have choices, right?
you're right.
So, like, if you grew up with, I don't know, let's just say a parent who was not very present, then when you get to be older, you know what that's like. So either you tend to be also the kind of person who is not really present, or you do the complete opposite and you're real around all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was my thing is I grew up thinking, okay, well, you know, my dad wasn't around very much because he was dealing with his own stuff, and mom was, trying to pick up the pieces and work a whole bunch of shifts, and so I was alone a lot. And I thought, well, when I have kids, I'm going to do everything I can to be in their lives as much as possible. Um, and my goal was to have it so they never had the complaint of, yeah, my dad never was around. Even though like I worked a long shift, like when I was here, I was here. Like that was my whole pursuit. Um, and I don't know, maybe when they have kids, they'll be a little different. Maybe they're like, God, he was just always in my stuff, and I don't want to do that to my kids. I'm gonna give them some more freedom. I don't know. I don't know what the I don't know what the rebound is going to be, or if it's going to be, yeah, I like that. I'm going to do that. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's like I said. That's my dad's my biological father is no longer here. I did not have the best relationship with him growing up because, it's. I'm not going to get into the reasons why we didn't, but I can say that the last 14 years that he was here, we had a great relationship. We worked on that relationship. I mean, we went into it with the knowing that this is, the past was not good, but We've
Yeah.
got to leave the past in the past.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that all relationships take work.
Yes, most
Like
definitely.
even if it's your kid or if you're the kid, all of it requires work on both of your parts. You have to both want to do something to make it happen.
But like I said, I do miss him. He's been gone for over 3 years now, and yeah, it's I do think about him a lot today.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It is interesting now to see, like, Jared becoming an adult and becoming a dad and
right.
taking on the role of the dad and embracing it and doing well with it and seeing how the kids respond. I mean, that's super awesome. I mean,
Yes, it is.
um, and I mean, not just him, but like so much of our family. Like we got together for the family reunion thing at your parents' house, and it was just great to see everybody together and kind of supporting each other and wanting everybody to do well and trying to support each other to do well and seeing it work. I mean, and it is work, like all of it's work. Even relationships interpersonally between you and your spouse or, you and friends, it all requires something of you. And so many people want to go, yeah, but I don't want to put in the work. Okay, well then you're not going to get the results.
Yeah, I'm in a relationship. Each part or each person of the relationship has to put in the work.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this all the time in the sense that we've stayed friends with some people for many, many years, but also it's there's a lot of relationships where only one party does all the work. And after a while, that becomes very tiring on the party that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm the kind of person that tries to read something into it that maybe that person that's not doing any work really doesn't want the relationship. I don't know. Or some people are just better at working on relationships than others.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I heard a guy one time say, he said some people just have an idea that it's all going to work out no matter what, whereas other people are like, this is never going to work out, and they try and try and try and try and try and try. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've seen examples of both in my life. I mean, I definitely have worked with people like that who have both sensibilities. People who barely do the bare minimum but somehow still get by, and then others who do a million things, and you go, okay, they're both doing it. They're both kind of respected in their own different way, but I don't know. I guess the whole point of this is like there is no set reason or rhyme or anything of how this works. It just some people it works better to be super present, and some people it doesn't.
right.
But either way, happy Father's Day to all the fathers because let's face it, she wasn't in the mood, and now you're here, you're killing it, you're doing a
What
great job.
did you by any chance Google to see when Father's Day started?
I did.
And what did you learn?
I learned that we talked about it last year, but I can talk about it again.
Oh, did we?
We did.
We, as in, I was at.
You were here.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I know I was here.
I mean,
but
you
know
might
what I
have
mean.
you might have been in the living room.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, we is the sensible term, right?
Yeah, we is the sensible term. Yeah, I guess that's why people say we so much when it comes to that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, you are my executive producer and director and all that other stuff. Bookkeeper, etc. Yeah, it started in here in America. It
Now,
started by a woman named Sonora Smart Dodd.
I wonder if it's the same woman that started Mother's Day because
No.
we just talked about that just a little bit ago, but I do remember that being a different name.
No, Mother's Day was already going around.
Okay. They got recognized first, huh?
Well, I mean, the whole giving birth out of your body thing is kind of a big deal. I mean, Mary kind of killed it with that one.
Yeah, she knocked it out of the park, right?
Yeah, shout out to Mary. Great job. That was before the last names ever came around, but shout out to Mary. No, but Sonora Smart Dodd, she's Spokane, Washington. She was credited with initiating the first Father's Day celebration in 1910. She wanted to honor her father. He was a Civil War veteran who raised 6 children alone.
Wow.
6. Good googly moogly. Yeah, there's a whole history about this where she wanted to recognize him, and it became a thing in their community. But then it just grew from there because it says that the first Father's Day was celebrated on June 19th, 1910. It was proposed on her father's birthday for June the 5th, but the date was moved to a Sunday. That way they could do it in church. So the ministers had time to prepare a sermon.
Okay.
That's why it was moved. And then it really gained traction. Like Woodrow Wilson and Calvin Coolidge had their endorsements to try to make it a holiday. In 1966, Lyndon B. Johnson issued a presidential proclamation officially designating the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. And then in 1972 is when Nixon signed a law establishing Father's Day as a permanent national holiday. So,
God, not till 1972.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is. It is.
But
Anyway, happy Father's Day,
yeah, and
sweetie.
there.
I do appreciate you.
Well, thank you. One of your new favorite comedians, Ali Sadiq, has a Father's Day joke about it being the 20th most popular holiday in America. And he goes, Arbor Day 16th. I don't even know what Arbor Day
I have
is.
heard that. Yes.
That's pretty hilarious. He's like, I'm right here. I'm taking care of my kids. And I'm the 20th most celebrated holiday.
Yeah. Speaking of, staying a little bit on the Father's Day topic, because I do know that it's a little bit different in the sense I know that Mother's Day is like one of the busiest days in the restaurant industry for families eating out, because you definitely don't want mom to cook on Mother's Day. Father's Day is not like a huge eat out, go to restaurants days. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that most people in general love to eat, like to eat at home. Probably Father's Day is spent with the family getting together and cooking the dishes that the father likes the most. But I did some shopping yesterday with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to Hartsville, South Carolina. And I'm not really sure what it is about Hartsville that I just absolutely love the quaintness of that little town. It has some fantastic little shops in the downtown area, to me, that are just so different, and even to my opinion, better than what Florence offers. Although Florence is a much bigger city with a larger, older, historic-ish downtown area, it just has not done a very good job of like the quaint little shops like Hartsville has. And we went over to Hartsville and had some breakfast at a local restaurant. They do breakfast and brunch. It's called the Midnight Rooster.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a coffee shop. I think might be where they actually start. That's probably their busiest portion, is their coffee / little bakery area. But they do serve breakfast and brunch. That they do serve some sandwiches and stuff. But we've gone over there a couple times. We went, had some breakfast. It was great. I had to wait a little while to get in, which in my opinion, that is a sign that a restaurant is good, is when you have, when people are there waiting to get in. So we didn't have a very long wait, had a great breakfast. And then we stayed parked right there in the downtown part of Hartsville. And we did not leave Hartsville until we got over there around 9:00. We did not leave until about 1:30. Went in and out of shops. And now a lot of these were the ladies type apparel shops. Boutiques, right. But I did notice that several of them had little displays set up with ideas and presents for Father's Day. We went in a local bakery I think it was called Griggs Bakery. Cute little shop, had a lot of different pastries and stuff, but they had little boxes of Father's Day boxes made up with cookies that had, different things on it. Happy Father's Day. Some of them were shaped like hammers and screwdrivers. It was really pretty. And a grill was pretty cool. And, just some muffins, different things like that. But they had put them all in a box, tied them up with a blue dark bow. But I just thought it was really good that that a lot of the local retail places were, thinking about the fact that people would be out shopping and grabbing last minute things for Father's Day gifts.
Yeah. So doing a little bit of research on this, I saw many social media posts.
I'm sure Lowe's and Home Depot's been like slammed.
And Harbor Freight.
And Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight ran a huge special. Not that they're not sponsoring us or anything, Harbor Freight ran a huge special where they were posting they have a set of wrenches called Icon. It's supposed to be like their top brand. They have three different versions, like the lower, the cheaper version, the mid grade version, and the top brand. Their top brand was like 50% off
Oh, wow.
this weekend. I was like, holy crap. And I have a gift card. So I was like, maybe I'll swing by there and check out what they have.
Did
I don't
you?
know. No, I haven't. But it is kind of cool that they do that. And a lot of people were talking about that yesterday.
But those three stores sold a lot of gift cards.
Yes. But also like as a Jeeper, friends with guys with Jeeps, we were working on Jeeps yesterday with a friend of ours, and they were all online on their phones looking at the fact that there were a lot of Father's Day deals on things with Jeep parts. And one guy in particular said that, a set that he was looking at that was going to be $1,500 normally was on sale for like $700.
Oh,
And he
wow.
was like, I am buying that now. I've had my eye on this for a while and this is perfect. So, I mean, it is kind of cool whenever,
That
um,
person wasn't you, was it?
no, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. We would have had that conversation. No, we don't spend money like that. We have conversations about money like that. So, but no, it is kind of cool that, corporations have realized that, fathers are going to spend money too. And their families want to spend money on them. And if there's something they're into, like put that on a big sale, because then you're going to have a boost in sales that week. Um, but yeah, I mean, it it is kind of interesting to see how commerce has tied into the holiday. But like, what do you get dads on in general? Because most of the time, dads don't really want anything.
No, and I'm sure it's probably if you compared, yeah, revenue or not really revenue, if you compared what is bought on Mother's Day versus Father's Day,
Yeah,
I'm sure there is way more actual items, things purchased on Mother's Day, and then on Father's Day, it would be more gift cards. Because
yeah,
if, I mean, you and I do not exchange gifts,
mm-mm.
but I would think that if we did, you would probably buy me something like a tangible, physical gift to give to me, and I would probably give you more of a gift card to a place like Harbor Freight because I know you like to shop there, but I really don't know what it is that you want from there
Right.
each. Maybe it's because women are more vocal about, hey, I would like to have, or hey, I need, and men are not that way.
Well, it's more like if we need it, we're gonna go get it
Well,
because we
I
need
get
it.
that now. That's why we don't exchange
Yeah.
gifts now. But I'm just saying, in general, I think women are more vocal about some of the things that they have their eye on, as far as, oh, I would love to have that. Where men are don't really do that as much. Or I know that
Right.
I'm just comparing you and I both to like the typical average mother and father with or people. I vocalize more of things I want to say, things I want to buy, or oh, I'd love to have that, or things like that, where I don't really hear you say that.
Well, no, I got the thing I wanted to buy.
Well, I mean, men don't. I guess maybe nowadays men, because everybody does more stuff online. Like you said, I think
Yeah.
you men probably do look at things like that they want to purchase, or oh, that's a fancy set of ratchets. I
But
have no
also,
idea what y'all
but
look at
also,
online.
we're not kids anymore either. So the things that we want aren't like, hey, I can just go to Lowe's and get this thing. Now the things we want are things that are like bigger and broader and serve a purpose more often. So it's like if I'm looking for a tool, it's something specific for a thing. Like you said, like a gift card could move
Yeah.
towards that purchase. But like I heard somebody at work talking about how she was going to get her husband a gift card for a massage,
Yep.
and she was like, he works hard and he doesn't really ask for much, and I know that he's sore all the time, and I'm smaller than him, so like there's a place that he got me a massage for Mother's Day that was really cool, and I asked the lady, I said, do y'all massage men? And she was like, of course. And she was like, okay, well, he's kind of a tall, big fella, and she was like, no problem, like we do that all the time, and she was like, okay. So she's like, I'm gonna get him this from me and the girls. She has daughters,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, this. I think this would be a cool present for him. And that is a listen. Sometimes it is nice to be pampered, so sometimes that could be an option as well. But like talking about going out and eat, like we worked in restaurants growing up, and Mother's Day is like the number one
Oh
time
yeah,
when
most
nobody
definitely.
makes mom cook. Everybody's like, let's go out and eat, and we'll pay somebody to cook for mom.
Right.
Whereas Father's Day is usually more like, no, 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 like he's gonna grill and you guys just come over and hang out because all he really wants is to spend time.
Yep.
Like that's it. That's all the thing is. Okay, so if anybody asks me honestly, ask me, what do you want for Father's Day?
What do you want for Father's Day?
I would like for all my kids to be happy and healthy. And once in a while come around and be like, hey man, I'm happy and I'm doing well. Family's doing great. That's all I want. That's the I know that sounds like the bare minimum. That is my dream.
Well, I mean, that's every parent's dream.
I know, but like beyond anything, like I could care less about stuff. But the thing about like knowing that everybody's going to be okay takes a huge burden off my brain because I'm always like you don't see it, but I am always worried about them. I am.
Yeah. And you think that I'm not?
I know, but I don't verbalize it. I don't talk about it very much. But as a dad, like I remember grabbing them before they fall off a bed or you know fall off the bicycle into the car or whatever. I remember so much of trying to make sure they understand what life is about and avoid obstacles and avoid heartache and avoid getting hurt and sometimes letting them get hurt so they understand the repercussions of what they're doing. We're thinking this is manageable and we can move past this and then see them grow up and man,
I
parenting is not for the weak of heart.
No, I mean, and I think all parents want that.
Yeah.
I just think as you get older, you get to the place in your life where you realize that stuff, and I'd say that with like quotation marks around it, is simply just stuff.
Yeah.
It is not really at the end of the day what matters. And as you get older, you verbalize that more with
your family.
Right. I mean, hey, mom, it's Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? I don't want anything. I would like for us just to spend some time together.
Yeah.
I used to think, oh my gosh, that's the same thing you say every time. That's so cheesy sounding when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that's cheesy sounding at all.
Nope. I watched you yesterday in the floor, rolling around on the floor with our grandson, our youngest grandson, and I was like, she is the happiest I've seen her in a very long time.
Yeah.
You were so happy. If you could have, you would have split into two different people. You'd have been like, I just want to be this person now. This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
and he was having a blast. You were having a blast. And I was like, I want to record it or take a picture, but I also don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
So
I'll
let you have that moment.
When
all
you
by
think
yourself.
about it, it's going to be 50, he's one.
Yeah.
It's going to be, a good at least 40 years before he realizes, I won't be here then. Before he realizes that truly at the end of the day, that is all that matters.
Yeah.
Is that the people that are in your life that, especially your children.
Oh yeah.
That they're healthy and happy.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff is simply just that. It is nothing. The stuff is the clutter in our lives.
It is. Yeah. When we were younger, we used to have the conversation of if there was a fire, and I know this is because my mom was an ER nurse and she dealt with people that had this kind of stuff happen all the time, but she would say, if there's a fire, what's 3 things that you would grab out of your room that you want to hang on to? And I think her point was, we got to get rid of some of your old crap, and I want to make sure I don't throw away those 3 things.
Maybe.
Because we got to make room for new crap because it's stuff. But we're like, you're going to get presents from people and blah, blah. But also, it made me think about, because then she would turn the question back to herself and she would say, for me, I'd want to save my photo albums because I want to make sure I have photo albums from you guys all through life. And that's before digital. It's like now everything is digital and you have backup copies on Facebook and Instagram and whatever else. Or the cloud.
Right. You're more, what is the word? You're more recent life.
Right.
I still am at the age where there are some photos that are not on the cloud that I would have to get or I would lose them forever.
Yeah. We could get a scanner and we could put them online.
That's possibly something that needs to be done, just like old videotapes.
Yeah.
You and I both own a lot of videotapes.
The problem with that is most of mine are melted together and they won't go through a machine.
Yeah. And see, I don't know.
Because they were in an attic somewhere at some point.
Well, you and I have a lot. I have some that are still in really good shape, but I have no idea how to reasonably, cost-wise, get them into a digital form.
Yeah.
So that even if I lost a laptop or a phone, I still have access to that stuff. But then, honestly, how often do you go back and look at that stuff?
We don't.
I mean, I can say,
we got a stack of
I know,
discs right here that we used to have a disc man
Well,
recording stuff, and we don't go back and watch it.
nope. But now I do go back and look at stuff on my phone.
Yeah, because it's digital, because it's easy to access. But maybe that's why. I don't know. There's a lot where, like you were talking about, where your phone fills up with storage, and you go, okay, I got to delete some stuff, and you go back and go, do I delete this? Oh wait, why do I have 800 pictures that are almost identical? Yeah, I could narrow this down. And then, like this morning, I went through and I cleaned out like 600.
See, I would love to know what is the average number of photos that people have on their phone.
That'd be interesting.
I wonder how many do you have on yours?
I don't know, a lot, not as many as yours,
Why? What?
because I purge mine a good bit.
Yeah, I probably need to.
I have to.
I had to not long ago because I kept getting that dreaded message from
Their storage thing
Yes.
saying you need more storage.
you need to pay
Yeah.
$70,000 a month in order to hold all your photos.
Yeah, everything requires a monthly access now.
Yes, and it can get quite expensive too.
Yeah.
I have 2,650 items. I
Yeah.
don't know what the items. Does it break it down?
It could be it. It used to have a thing where it'd tell you how many videos, how many photos.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I have. Oh God, I got 426 selfies. Boy, isn't she vain? Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Although the numbers here don't add up to what they told me is my total. Anyway, I have 613 videos. That's a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and if I had to
also-
guess, it's probably of grandbabies.
Also, another reason I purge mine a lot is because I use my phone to make YouTube videos, and it doesn't take long before videos eat up a lot of space, and
They
I
do.
realize, oh, I got to get this off of here because I don't want it killing my memory or my battery. So yeah, I'm constantly purging that stuff for that reason. But also, we have trips that we go on where I'll have a bunch of photos, and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of these yet, and I'll go back years later, and I'm like, wait, is this that year that we went, or this is the other? I have to look at the dates to realize
I know.
because we go to Disney so much, and a lot of them are us in front of the castle. But yeah,
I did read something this morning that I thought was rather interesting that I wanted to mention on here. Probably won't be able to find it again on the Googles, but it was things that have changed since COVID.
okay,
And I was quite amazed at, I mean, your typical stuff, retail stores. I think a industry that took a big hit during COVID was retail stores. People had to buy online. I mean, I don't even remember how long the pandemic lockdown actually lasted. I do know that I would think that movie theaters is something that's not come back like it had originally before COVID. But I noticed several things that was listed as like things that have changed drastically since COVID, that a lot of it is people just using COVID as an excuse
to do what?
to not go to work anymore. They said that, a lot of
Oh,
jobs
for remote work?
yeah, I mean, did companies realize that we don't need all this office space? That these people can do the exact same job at home?
Well, that's true because think about how much it costs to build a building and then to have people in that building when you have things like, electricity and water and maintenance. And then you got to have a whole crew of people doing all those things where if you just say, hey, do this job, but from your house and we'll get online and we'll Zoom each other and talk about it. And then you can do that stuff at home. That's a huge cost that you don't have to have.
Yeah, I mean, I work at a place. I work at an office. Well, I mean, I work at a mill where you actually physically have to have people. You have to have people doing the job because
Sure.
you can't do that remote.
It's a hands-on business.
Right. But there's an office.
But there's a lot of businesses that aren't hands-on.
Right. You're right. There is. There's some that I guess never ever have to have they can do every last single thing online.
Like insurance, for example.
I happen to work at a place that can't. I mean, we have to have it's production. It's production work, so you have to have hands on.
Yeah.
Probably the people in the office though some of the majority of the people in the office get a remote day. They get
Mhm.
one remote day per week. And I'm not one of those. My job does not allow me to do that. But every one of those people that do that remote day, they would tell you that one remote day is good, but they need the office to come in. They get more work or a different value, or they get more out of their work when they're actually in the office. There are certain things that, regardless as to whether it can be done 100% online, there's just something about coming into that office setting. They're like, I would not want to work remote 5 days a week, every single week.
Mhm.
One day a week, maybe two here and there is one thing, but to work every single day from home is just not what I want to do. And I would think that, I don't know, I would hope that us as a society would not want to get to that point, because then you have no interaction with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I Googled just out of curiosity using the AI tool or whatever, um, changes since COVID. And number one thing is rise of remote work,
Yes.
increase in digital adoption, which means like just going hand in hand with the remote work is companies realizing they can do more and more stuff without having the people present. Um, Customer expectations. Consumers have developed a new expectation for online services and digital experiences. Well, absolutely. Like we kind of, especially with shopping, we've gotten very spoiled with, I want to order the thing and it show up in a couple of days. I mean, that's kind of like an expectation. And if it's not what I ordered or if it shows up bad, I want you to credit me back because this is what I ordered. So, I mean, there is expectations there that probably was never there before. Um, Supply chain disruptions. Obviously, there's a lot more trucks on the road, a lot more opportunities for things to go wrong whenever it's moving from one place to another. Um, Accelerated digital transformation. We've seen that with AI. I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's a lot of people posting stuff online right now using AI.
Yes.
So it looks like it's real and it's not.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's so hard to tell what's real and what isn't now. Um, it's almost like if it looks too good to be real, it's probably fake. But yeah, use of digital tools, from online learning to telehealth to e-commerce, all of that stuff is taking a huge jump. A focus on health and hygiene has taken a huge jump.
Focused on health and hygiene.
Mm-hmm. Increased adoption of contactless payments and technologies to minimize contact, as well as like people's involvement of wanting to eat healthier and take supplements and go to the gym and that sort of thing.
So it's better or worse?
It's gone up. Yeah, it's made it better.
Huh. You're saying people are cleaner now than they were before COVID?
They're washing their hands a little more.
Okay.
I have noticed men's rooms now, men wash their hands now, whereas for a long time they didn't. They would use their bathroom and they'd walk out.
Oh, geez.
And, you probably never had to fill up the paper towel holder but once a week. And now it's like you go half a day and it's like, hey, where are my other paper towels? So now in men's rooms, if they do have a paper towel dispenser, there's multiple, or they have extra rolls on top. And if the little hand dispenser for the soap isn't contactless, people start complaining. So, I mean, yeah, I've definitely seen people taking more of a notion of washing their hands, which is a good idea, in general. Impact on the travel industry, because there's a lot of people that are afraid of infections or being, subject to viruses unknown. We talked about that whenever we were discussing going on vacation, asking the people there what happened to you guys during COVID. And they were like, yeah, it shut down everything because we make all of our money from tourism, and tourism just stopped. There is a big shift in travelers' preferences. Now there's a large movement towards outdoor activities because people were tired of being shut up inside.
But that was years ago. I mean, we're several years past COVID.
I know, but this is the backlash of COVID. Increase in domestic travel. A lot of people traveling inside the country. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I believe all that. I mean, we've been far enough past COVID that I can't believe that people are still blaming their bad habits or whatever it
An
is
increased demand for mental health services.
we have fell into
We just,
this whole world, not just our nation, not just our country, but just they're blaming everything on something that didn't last. They make out like it lasted for decades, and it did not. It There was a disruption in the world for a while, but
yeah.
it's been long enough. I don't know. I just keep thinking that people have just blamed so much
Well, it's like the idea
on
of
COVID.
saying that you need a mental health day. I'm okay with that to a point. Like, it's okay to once in a while be not okay and admit I'm not okay. I mean, I get that. That is the right answer. But also, there's a part of my brain that's like, rub some dirt on it. Come on, let's go. Because that's how we were brought up. Is who cares? I mean, you have feelings. That's your feelings. Let's go. We got stuff
It's
to do.
not. We're not from the generation of who cares. We're from the generation of you've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Go yourself to work.
Right. Well, and that's the thing about, anytime I
You
turn on
don't
social
work, you
media,
don't eat.
anytime I turn on social media and I see like groups of people in a protest situation, I'm going, so you're not working, you're not working. Oh, look, all you people aren't working. How about that? Have fun with that in this country where you're have the freedom to do that. That's fun. So anyway, to go full circle, um, happy Father's Day to all the fathers that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate your father. Spend time with him.
Yeah.
He don't want no gift card from Harbor Freight.
No. No. Just wants a phone call or a visit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So anyway, thank you to everybody for who's listening. I appreciate it. You got any special shout outs?
No.
No?
Shout out to you.
Aw.
Don't be like that.
I would like to shout out a local company here. We ate dinner at Friday
Oh,
night.
that's right. We ate dinner at a great place Friday night.
Baja Joe's here in Florence, South Carolina. Really fantastic food. They have a huge menu that's full of all kinds of like the best of everything, and it's all good so far. Like I wanted to purposely try something different just to see, okay, this isn't something I normally eat. Let me give it a shot because it was in the wheelhouse of things I like, and it was great.
Yeah, that was our second time eating there, and it was just as good as it was the first time.
Yep.
And I hear a lot of people say negative things about the fact that, oh my gosh, they're expensive. I don't know if you've looked around, but
they're right in line with everybody else.
They're right in line with everybody else. I do not think that they're any pricier than your average. It's not.
It's right in line with everywhere else that is the place to go eat.
Right.
Yeah. But the food's excellent. The service was really excellent. And it was nice to just go out and have a nice evening and everything worked.
Yes.
Like, especially after our experience with the other restaurant the week before.
Yeah, we had a fantastic server Friday night.
Yeah.
He was great.
So shout out Baja Joe's. This is not a paid advertisement. I'm just saying we liked them.
Yeah, if you get the opportunity to eat there, just you will not be disappointed.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you everybody who listens. Appreciate you. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, share this with your friends, and as always, cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.